Hi, it's Dennis with Cyberkraft, and today I'm going to show you a series of Linux commands. Now, it can be very helpful to know these commands if you're working with Linux machines, if you're working on Linux servers, or if you're going through a certification exam. If you're going through any of the CompTIA exams, it's helpful to understand these commands. For Security Plus, CISA Plus, Network Plus, you should know how to do your basic Linux commands. So here's a list of Linux plans, and you can find these Linux commands on cyberkrafttraining.com. We have a great cheat sheet here, very helpful if you need a quick reference of these different commands. I'm going to go through these, and you can go to the website to get these commands. It's free to download, and this is available to anybody. But I'm going to show you them here today. I'm going to go through a series of commands. These are going to be basics, and the best way to learn these commands is not to just look at a cheat sheet and try to memorize them. It's to work through a Linux machine and use them by doing. Now, everybody learns a little differently. Some people learn by writing them down. Some people learn them by hearing them out loud or by doing them. So it's a kinesthetic approach, an audible approach, or a writing approach, for example. But we're going to go through, and I'm going to actually do this with you. Now, you could follow along with this. This is a home lab. This is a Kali Linux machine. So you can get a Kali Linux machine for yourself. If you want to know how to do that, you can get my How to Build a Cybersecurity Home Lab. I have a series of videos, and I also have a course on cyberkrafttraining.com. I can teach you how to do this. So here we're going to start out with the ls command. Now, the ls command, very basic. Of course, we can go through this with the GUI interface, but you might not always have access to that. You might be working on a Linux server, might be in a simulation for a test, and you might only have access to terminal. So that's why we want to know the terminal command. So ls, this lists all of our directories. So it lists our directories, lists our files, and here we have desktop documents, downloads, music, pictures, etc. Now, this is a little small. If you want to make your terminal bigger, you hit Control plus on your keyboard. So I'm going to make that a lot bigger. So now we can read that, and now you can all see what I'm doing as I go through this. I'm going to make this much bigger here. So here we have a much larger screen, and this is just a useful way. If you're tired of reading small text on a screen, just Control and the plus sign, and then Control with the minus side will make it smaller. So we have ls, and we also want to go through ls-r, and this is going to list our subdirectories too. So here we have our directories and our subdirectories. If we had any hidden files, we do ls-a. Here's our hidden files if we had them, and here we see some. Okay. And then if we want to list details, we do ls-al. And here we see details about the file, and this is going to include metadata about the file. So when the files were created, etc., and then the access permissions of the file, read, write, execute, for example, for each of these files. So that can be very handy if you want to just list those out together. Now, if we want to change a location, okay, then we're going to set cd. Just think of it, change directory, cd, change directory. And you want to know what your directories are first. So first we want to do ls, okay, and then we want, okay, so these are directories. So let's do cd. Okay, and then we want to pick a location. So let's pick public, for example, public. Boom. Oop. CD, and then public. And the reason that first one didn't work is because I didn't capitalize the P. It has to be very specific. So you see, I did a lowercase p, that didn't work. So now I have a capital P. Now I'm in the public directory, and we can also see what we have in there. Now there's nothing in the public directory. So maybe we don't want to be in this directory. So what we can do is do cd, okay, and then dot, dot. So 2 periods. That's going to take us back up to the parent directory, or up one level. So if you're thinking of visualizing this in a GUI interface, imagine we change directory to public. We double-clicked on the public icon or folder, and then to get back, we hit the back button if you're looking at a typical GUI interface. So now we can say here we can go to cd documents, and it's going to be correct because it's writing it in white text. And here we're in the documents. We can list. We don't have anything in the documents. We can go back cd up there. Okay, now if we want to go home, say we're in cd downloads, all right, and we want to go to the home directory, we can do cd, just cd. That takes us to the home directory, or we can do cd and then the tilde key. That takes us to the home directory. So 2 different ways to get back to the home directory, the tilde key or just cd. And the root directory, cd, and then a /. So there we are. We're in the home directory there, or the root directory. Okay, so you have the home directory, which is the tilde key, and the root directory, which is the /. Now, we don't have very many files here, right? So let's go ahead and create some files. All right, so let's go ahead and change directory into the documents, right? Because I want to see in the documents section. Now, let's see. Oh, I'm not in the correct directory here. So what do? CD, and then ls, in the right directory, CD, documents. Boom. Now I'm in documents. Now there's nothing in there. What we can do is we can now create a file with the touch command. Okay, so we can touch, and then we're going to name the file here. So we can name a file. So let's just call this best file ever. Touch, best file ever. Now if we hit ls, we see our best file ever right there. Now, we could also create file contents, okay? Or we can display the listing of a file. So let's do the cat command. The cat command basically lists what's in a file. Now, if we do ls, we see best file ever, and we do cat best file ever, nothing shows up because there's nothing in that file. Now, that file does exist, though. If we look in our GUI interface, we see here, we can go to our documents folder, and we see best file ever. Now, if we were to add something, this is the best file ever. And then we saved there, okay? We saved that, just for an example, just to show you that that file does exist. Then, if we do cat, best file ever, and here's one useful command. Now, since I want to repeat the command, all I can do is just hit up on my arrow key. When I hit up on my arrow key, I cycle through the commands. And I can go down to cycle through the commands again. So you have a list of your previous commands through your history. That can be incredibly handy. So definitely remember that part. Now, if we cat best file ever, I hit enter, we see now it says this is the best file enter because we already did that. We edited that file, basically. Now, we can also create, let's touch, make another file, okay? No, this is the best file. Okay, so now we have two files. We have one, this best file ever, and we have touch, we have no, this is the best file. So what we can do is we can cat, okay? And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna combine two files, okay? So we're gonna combine two files to, I'm gonna hit best file ever. First off, I'm gonna hit up to make this easier. Now I'm gonna hit space, and I'm gonna put in the second file name. Now this is the best file. Now I have to spell this correctly. It's very important. Now I'm going to hit the greater than symbol, and we're going to name it into a third file, best file. Okay, so now we combine those two files into a third file called best file. Now, if we were to cat best file, what do you think is going to display? We combine two files together. We see the text we had from the first file. Now, if we were to do that again and we had some text on no, this is the best file, we'd have a combination of both files there, both texts. So that can be pretty helpful. Now we can also move this file if we like. Okay, so remember right now we're in what? We're in /documents. Okay, so we can move this file to a new file path basically. So what we want to do is we want to MV for move, and then we want to move the best file, okay? And then we want to move that to tilde, okay? Home directory / downloads. We're going to move this to downloads. Okay, now we have to ls. What do we see? We have best file ever and no, this is the best file. We don't see best file because we moved it. So let's change our directory. Go up to the key, ls. And you don't have to go up there. You can just do change directory, download. I mean, I don't have to be in this root directory. So I can be change directory to whatever. But just to give you a visualization, I'm navigating through it. and make sure to spell it right. See, it didn't show up in right. Since it didn't show up in white, I knew that I misspelled it there. Change directory downloads, and now we ls. Now here we see best file. And of course, if we can't best file, we see this is the best file ever. So because we had added that before. Okay, now going back to the downloads folder. Again, if we look at downloads, we have best file. Okay, now say we want to get rid of that file. What we can do is rm for remove, and then best file. Now, if we ls, we don't see anything. There's nothing in downloads because we deleted that file. So rm, think of that as remove, it's delete file. Okay. Now we can also clear the terminal, and I did that just a moment ago. If we want to clear, we clear. And that just clears all of your entries. So if your terminal is getting a little crowded, you don't need the previous commands. Your commands are still stored, but you can just clear up some space by hitting clear. Can be helpful in occasion as well. And then if you need any help, if you forget any of this stuff, don't forget you can always do man. Man stands for manual, gives you help. So we do the manual of the manual, and we can get a manual there. There's lots of different help programs here, or you can just get the cheat sheet at cyberkrafttraining.com. So we're going to do a series on this. This is going to be the first part, and keep these short. So I hope this was helpful for you. Just on the basic Linux commands, we're tackling moving and basic file manipulation, which is very important to understand. The more you use this, the more comfortable you're going to be. I hope this is helpful for you. If you want to try this on your own, get Kali Linux. Check out my other videos. Also, check out the How to Build a Cybersecurity Lab course on cyberkrafttraining.com. And I hope this is helpful for you whatever you're using Linux for. But thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.